Hey, Xiomy here. So today I wanted to do my July wrap-up. Now, I read a couple of good books during the month of July. I also participated in Booktubeathon. So without further ado, let's get into these books that I read. So the first book that I read for the month of July was Assassin's Heart by Sarah Adheres. I gave this 3.75 out of 5 stars. I was very much disappointed by this book and I was expecting so much more from it. And the majority has to do with the main character and also the pace of the story. You are promised in this book that you're gonna have an assassin who is going to claim vengeance for the fact that her family was killed. And you get more talk than action, especially from the main character. Is something that really did annoy me. You know, she would speak a lot more than actually doing what she wanted to do, and she was also very clumsy. I mean, she was loyal and she was strong. I'm not gonna take that away from her because she was that, but she was also so clumsy and dumb for an assassin. You know, there were things that honestly, me not being an assassin, I wouldn't have done in a million years. But again, she committed these mistakes and I'm like, what the heck is happening here? Also, the pacing of the story. In the beginning, you have this really strong, fast-paced story and you're really immersed in it and it really sounds good and you're liking it and enjoying it. And then in the middle, it just slows down so much to the point that you just wanted to DNF it because it was just so boring because it dragged so much. And here you get a lot of her blushing, you get of her saying instead of doing, and these are things that really got on my nerves, like really got on my nerves. And then the ending, it goes by like really quickly, like you blink your eyes and you're already lost, you know. So that was my issue majorly with the book. I have to admit that I really did like the religion behind it, and I also liked the bits and pieces of magic that you got in the story. That was really cool. So those parts I have to say that I really did enjoy. You also get shades of Romeo and Juliet, and I really did enjoy that, and then it just takes this twist. So that was something that I was like, okay, this is really good. But overall, it was more of a disappointment than actual an enjoyment for me, so that's why I gave it the rating that I gave it. But overall, you know, it basically depends. I have seen people who have loved this book. I unfortunately had major issues with those things, so that's why it was a bit of a put off for me. The next book that I picked up was the finale of a duology, and that is Our Dark Duet by Victoria Schwab. I really enjoyed this Savage song, like you have no idea. It was just so good, and like going back into the world of Verity and going back into this monstrous world where these monsters manifest from these atrocious acts is something that was really brilliant and a concept and an idea that I really did enjoy. So going back into the world was perfect for me, you know. But I gave this 4 out of 5 stars because it was a bit of a letdown. You know, I really did enjoy a lot of things that were happening. I also enjoyed that there were new characters that were being introduced, and you also got to see August and Kate, you know, after everything that happened to them. So they were taking up major roles in their lives, and so that's something that I really did enjoy. You know, they were growing up. But overall, the fact that you had unanswered questions, and these were things that I really wanted to know questions to, and I can't tell you which they are because of spoilers, but I am going to leave my Goodreads review down below where I've mentioned every single question that I really wanted answered in this book. But the ending alone deserves the 5 stars because it was perfect. It wasn't what I was expecting, but it was perfect. You know, I'm not mad by the ending, I'm just mad because of those unanswered questions. But the poetic style in this book, oh, it killed me. It was just so good. The writing, getting to know these characters again, and how everything turned out. I just really enjoyed it. And seeing, you know, my Cinnabon again, he was perfect, you know. So I really did enjoy it. It's just some things that I had major issues with. The next book that I picked up sadly was a disappointment, and I had so many high hopes for it. I was just like, I really wanted to enjoy this book, but the more I tried to read it, the less I enjoyed it, and that is Flame in the Mist by Renée Arhier. I'm not going to tell you what I didn't like about the book. I'm going to tell you what I liked about it. First of all, I liked the fact that I learned from it. That's something that's beautiful, for you to learn from a book, because feudal Japan is something that I know little to none of. I remember because of the movies, but actually like reading about it is something that I just drew a blank, honestly. So I really liked the fact that it had me looking on the internet certain images and certain weapons because I really didn't know what the heck they were. You know, that's the reality of it. So I really did love that it taught me something, and I really did enjoy the words behind it, and I enjoyed a lot of things that were happening. But it was just like the main character, she really annoyed the crap out of me. And beyond that, I'm not going to continue to say anything else because I'm basically going over the same things. So it was it was just that. It was a disappointment and I was expecting a lot more from it. The next 4 books that I'm going to mention are ones that I picked up during the booktubeathon, and the first one that I read was The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. I loved this. It was just so beautiful. It's something that I needed after reading Flame in the Mist. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars, and you know, it was lovely to fall into this world again. I'm going to get all the mangas because I love playing The Legend of Zelda. I love Link. You know, he's a character that I grew up with a lot, you know. I really did enjoy playing his games, and like actually reading about it in manga is just something so special and so beautiful, and this is so entertaining and so much fun. And I don't know if I mentioned it, but I gave it 5 out of 5 stars because it was perfect, you know. It's what I needed. The next book that I picked up was The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. It's crucial for you to know that if you want to read a weird and crazy story, you have to be in the mood to read a weird and crazy story. That's the vibe that I got with this book. But once you pull through those 60 to 70 pages, or probably the first 100 pages, you're set, because it has that undertone to it. It has that weirdness to it. But you do enjoy the friendships that basically are in this book, which is something that captivated me and kept me reading a lot more, and it's something that I immersed more in after those 60, 70 pages. But I really did enjoy this group of boys. They have their flaws, they have their problems, but it's just so amazing the journey that they want to embark in and finding this mythological king. It's something that I found very interesting. Also the connection that one of these characters has to this king, and also Adam. Oh, Adam, at times he really did destroy me, especially things that were happening to him. And also Ronan. These are the 2 characters that I want nothing but good things about, and I just love them so much. But overall, it is an interesting reading experience. It is a weird story to read. I'm not going to deny it because I have mentioned it, but it's just so beautiful, the fact that you connect with these characters and you want nothing but good things to happen to them. Blue is one that I yet have to connect with, but I really did love her family. Her family is one that drew me in, and I can't wait to see what else are they going to do in this journey that they're in. The next book that I'm going to mention is one that I honestly was not expecting to love as much as I did, and it surprised the crap out of me. The only thing I can say is that why didn't I read it sooner? And even though it is a sad story filled with grief and it is heart-wrenching, it's a story that everybody honestly should read, because it is just so good and so real, so raw, so honest, that I really did, you know, love it a lot. And that is A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. I really didn't enjoy the other book that I read from Patrick Ness, which is The Rest of Us Just Live Here, so I was a bit skeptical to go into this one, but holy crap, nope. Don't even think about The Rest of Us Just Live Here. This is all its own. It is so beautiful. And Connor, you can't help but connect with this, you know, little boy. You know, he is lashing out because he doesn't want to accept what's going to happen. And he's a character that you just want to hold and never let go. This monster that does come in does show him a very valuable lesson. And the story is just so beautifully written. I couldn't help to connect with it, especially for things that have happened in my life. So I think that made it for more of a pleasurable experience because I connected a lot with it. But it's just something that in my eyes everybody should read, because it is a beautiful story that, even though it is sad and it speaks about loss, you should read it, because it is something that we have in our lives on a constant daily basis. And the next book that I picked up for the readathon, but also the final book that I picked up for July, was Rebel of the Sands by Elwin Hamilton. I have to admit that this was a very entertaining and fun read, and I was not expecting to like it as much as I did. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I think one of the things that really did immerse me more into this world was the fact that it was set in the desert, and I really haven't read a book that was majority set in the desert, and that's something that really did capture my attention a lot more. In this book you have Amani, and she is a sharpshooter. She wants to really get away from the town that she lives in, because honestly her situation isn't all that good, and one day she stumbles upon this man, and this is when her life takes on a turn. You know, it's filled with adventure, and she also discovers something along the way, because she does house a major secret within her, and we get to know it, you know, nearly towards the end of the book. And something that does make sense, because you're like, huh, okay, it's a plot twist that I wasn't expecting, but then you're like, oh, okay, now I get it, you know. But you know, I think that the synopsis is also misleading towards our side character, but I really did enjoy the book. You also have other side characters that were being introduced and that were very, very interesting, and I wanted to know more about them. But overall, everything else is really good. The writing is okay, the story is beautiful, and you know, I can't wait to see what else is it that they embark on, because the ending, it didn't end on a cliffhanger, but you want to know what the heck else are they going to do, because it's that entertaining. And you do have a diverse cast of characters in this book. I also do get the stereotypes that a lot of people are complaining about in this story, but once I put that aside, I have to admit I really did enjoy the story. Also, really quickly, I wanted to say that I'm only uploading on Wednesdays because I don't want to fall into a video slump again, and I really want to read a lot more. And I also have to get another computer because mine's is just dying on me. Well, those are all the books that I picked up for the month of July. If I have to pick my favorite read of the month, that would definitely have to be A Monster Calls. It was just, it spoke to my soul, you know, it spoke to me on so many levels. And even though it is a sad book, I really did enjoy what it portrayed, and it's something that I have to praise. But you know, that's it for my video. If you want to tell me which was your favorite read for the month, then feel free, we'll chit chat down below. But I want to thank you for watching, and until next time, peace.